What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews back at it again with another hometown take. Today I will be discussing the NBA's Rookie of the Year. Who should it be this year? It's really only a race between two guys, kind of like it was last year with Trey and Luka. It's between Zion Williamson and Jah Morant. Obviously, Zion with the Pelicans, Jah Morant with the Memphis Grizzlies. Both have their teams in position to possibly be in the playoffs this year, with it being a crazy season. They both, are going to Orlando trying to get in the playoffs, and both have a chance, a really good chance, to make it in the dance. And that's what I believe it's going to come down to Rookie of the Year wise. Obviously, it's not decided yet. If I had to pick right now, without, the rest of the season playing out through, I would have to give it to Jah Morant. Honestly, I think he's done more with less. Now, stats will say otherwise, if you want to go by stats, you got to give it to Zion Williamson. I mean, he's only played in 19 games, and he has 23.6 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, 2.2 assists, shooting 58.9% from the field. He's efficient around the basket, obviously, and he's sneaky good from the three-point line. Now, obviously, that stat is a little skewed because he does not shoot that many threes, but when he does shoot them, he makes them. So that's hats off to Zion Williamson, knocking them down when he gets those opportunities, shooting 46.2% from the three-point line. Now, Jah Morant has played almost every game this shortened NBA season. In 59 games compared to Zion's 19, he is averaging 17.6 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 6.9 assists, shooting 49.1% from the field, 36.7 from three-point range. Great numbers as well, especially for a rookie, especially someone who is, supposed to lead this team at such a young age. But I still have to give, even though Zion's numbers are better and he's had less games to put up those numbers, I still have to give it to Jah Morant. Why? Because Jah Morant, I believe, is doing it with less. Now, if you want to compare rosters, their rosters are kind of near the same, but I got to give Zion the edge. He has the better roster. He has a bona fide scorer and established player in Brandon Ingram. He has a knockdown shooter in J.J. Redick. He has a good young rookie alongside him in Jackson Hayes, a seasoned big man vet power forward in Derek Favors. He's got obviously Lonzo Ball, who is coming into his own. He's knocking down his three-point shot better. A guy, a facilitator, someone who can easily get him the ball, throw him alley-oops. He's developed a quick chemistry with Lonzo Ball, and also Josh Hart, can't knock on him coming off the bench. And let's not forget about the All-Star as well in Jrue Holiday. He's been in some All-Star teams, averaging almost 20 points a game. Zion Williamson has a good roster around him. He has a good young nucleus, along with some good veterans in Jrue Holiday, J.J. Redick, as I mentioned, Derek Favors, along with some good young pieces, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, all those guys that I mentioned. So Zion Williamson has a good, kind of complete roster. Now, some of those guys are still coming into their own, like Lonzo, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram. You can even argue still trying to, get there and get to that next level. Tiers are obviously great, but, he's trying to get to that NBA star level, on the level of the KD. So with all that being said, Zion Williamson has the better roster. So he's not under so much pressure to perform. It's not all on him. They can dish the ball around. Brandon Ingram can score. Lonzo Ball can score. Obviously, Jrue Holiday can score. J.J. Redick is going to get his points off. He's going to get his three-pointers off. But with Jah Morant, he's with some guys that are good and have great potential, but still are trying to come into their own. Dylan Brooks has really come into his own this season. I think it's almost like 17, 18 points per game. Obviously, Jaren Jackson Jr. is a beast. He's coming to his own, though, but he's not there yet. Those guys aren't stars yet. Obviously, they acquired Josh Jackson in the middle of the season. He didn't have it figured out in Phoenix. That wasn't the right fit for him. Maybe he can get figured out here in Memphis, averaging 10 points per game. He's only played 18 games with the Grizzlies. Josh Jackson has. Jah Morant is around a team that everybody's kind of still coming into their own. Everybody's still trying to figure out. They do have Jonas Valanciunas, who is a NBA vet who's got it figured out. So they got a good big man as well. But, as far as the guards go, we do know this game is shifting to guards, guys who can, spread the floor, that sort of thing. So Jah Morant, in my opinion, doesn't have a better roster than Zion has. Zion has the better roster, and so that's why I say Jah Morant has done more with less, because Jah Morant and the Grizzlies right now are in that number 8 seed. Zion is trying to catch up to Jah Morant. Granted, Zion did not start the season. He has not had the whole season to play with his team. If he has, maybe he would be in that 8th seed instead of the Grizzlies. But Jah Morant has done it, with the team that he has constructed. Zion does have a better team. So I got to give the edge to Jah Morant when it comes to Rookie of the Year because he's done less with more, like I said. So it really is all going to come down to how this playoff run matches out. And to me, the final deciding factor is going to be who gets that number 8 seed, who brings their teams to the playoffs as a rookie, who helps get their team to the playoffs as a rookie. If it's Memphis, Jah Morant to me is the Rookie of the Year. And like I said, if I had to decide right now, Jah Morant is the Rookie of the Year. But if Zion catches up, not having the whole season to play, not being with his team the whole season, starting off injured, coming in late to the season, if he catches up to Jah, surpasses Jah, and gets that number 8 seed or 7 seed, gets his team into the playoffs, and either Jah doesn't or Jah's that 8 seed and Zion somehow gets up to the 7 seed, then I have to give it to Zion because he's played less games, put up better numbers, and he's taken his team to the playoffs. But if Jah holds off Zion, Jah is the Rookie of the Year to me, point blank, period. Done more with less, and he's been consistent throughout the entire season. And Zion has fresher legs too. You got to think about that. Jah, even though he hasn't played a complete season, still a lot of games compared to what he was playing in college. Zion is kind of still at that same mark. So that's something to think about. Zion only 19 games. That's, that's still like a college season. That's probably still less than a college season if you consider the tournament and all that good stuff as a full season. So Zion has fresher legs. Jah's been going almost the whole season. Jah is in a better position to make the playoffs. Jah's numbers, while Zion's are better, it's a little skewed because Jah's had the whole season to play and Zion hasn't. So Jah's got to be the Rookie of the Year in my eyes. What do you guys think? Tell me what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe on this video. Thank you for watching this video and keep on watching my hometown takes. And so until next time, guys, peace.